I hope whoever watches this video gets into their dream college and is super successful in life.
Good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Mansi Kaushik and welcome to my new channel. This channel is gonna mostly be college application related because channels like these really helped me when I was applying, and I hope my channel helps you as well. I'm not gonna say the cliche like and subscribe because I really don't have anything on my channel right now, like it's a completely brand new channel, but I have really cool stuff planned, like how I got into these colleges and breaking down the UC application, how I got into all the UCs that I applied to, plus a part 2 to this video. So this video is basically a culmination of a bunch of my friends' college journey. It includes their stats, their extracurriculars, their Common App essay, and all that good stuff. So if you're interested, keep watching, and I hope you like the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Reshma and I recently committed to the University of Southern California for biology on a pre-med track. Some of the other offers I received were from UCSD, the University of Washington, Santa Clara University, UC Irvine, and UC Davis.
My name is Kavya and I applied to US universities as a psychology major. So some of the offers I received are from UIUC, University of Washington, University of Minnesota Twin Cities, UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara, Ohio State University with a full scholarship, and Purdue.
Hey guys, I am Janavi. I recently graduated from high school, although we didn't have a graduation. And I'll be attending Emory University this fall, hopefully. And I'll be majoring in, I think, maybe biology or environmental science, maybe conservational biology or biochemistry. I'm still not too sure. I might even go on a pre-med track. I'm still trying to figure that out. We'll see.
Hey everyone, my name is Ashish and I'm from Bangalore, India, and this year I'll be graduating from Greenwood High. But getting into it, this college application season I was accepted into a number of different colleges. I got into UC San Diego, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC Santa Cruz. Then I got into the University of Wisconsin-Madison, I got into UMass Amherst, and I got into the University of Maryland. And I also got into the University of Rochester. And for at each place I was accepted for the major of computer science.
Hi guys, I'm Anjali and I'll be attending Purdue as an applied math major. So some of the other US universities that I received offers from are UCSD, University of Maryland, University of Minnesota, University of Washington, University of Massachusetts, and Northeastern.
Hey everybody, my name's Akhil and I got accepted into NYU Stern for a BS in Finance. I got into NYU in the ED1 round and it was my top choice. I got in December, I committed in December, and that's why I only applied to around like 4 or 5 universities, not more than that.
So at the end of 11th grade, I had an IB score of 34, and the ACT score I used in my college application was 33.
I have a 1500 in my SAT. I got an 800 in math and a 700 in English. And I took the IB curriculum. My score in IB was around a 37 on 42. My academics were not too great. They weren't top notch, but I don't think they were too pathetic.
My stats, at the end of the 11th grade finals, I had a 38 out of 42. My SAT best single score was 1530, and super scored it was 1560.
So starting with my academic portfolio and my academic profile for my college applications, it wasn't necessarily the strongest. In my 11th and 12th, I did the IB, and in my 11th grade, I got a 36 on 42, which is around a 3.7, 3.75 out of 4.0, like in a rough GPA conversion. But I also took the SATs, and I got a 1570 super scored, which most of my colleges accepted, and NYU accepted as well. I got a 1490 on my first try, I got 800 in math and 690 in English, and I got 1540 on my second try, which is 770 in each. So overall 1570, and it really did help my academic portfolio at least. And I also took my 2 subject stats. I took math level 2, in which I scored 880 on 800, and I took physics, in which I scored a 750 on 800, which again wasn't too competitive.
As for extracurriculars, the main one that I talked about in a lot of my essays was the mental health awareness campaign that I launched called Shaka, in which I conducted 2 independent online surveys, and they investigated the different levels of stress in Indian high schools, specifically in Bangalore. And through these surveys, along with a bunch of secondary research I had conducted, I was able to deduce which conditions were likely to promote high levels of stress in students and increase the awareness for mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. Another one of my main extracurriculars was an independent research project, which I was able to take part in through an internship that I received over the summer at a small stem cell lab in Bangalore. This research project focused on cancer cells and cancer metastasis, and at the end of 11th grade I was able to publish my research into an online journal for young innovators. I also published a poetry and photography collection at the end of 11th grade, which was the culmination of all the work that I had published on my online poetry blog that I started in 9th grade. I was also the sports captain in my school student council, and that gave me a lot of leadership opportunities in different events throughout the school year. I was an active basketball player throughout high school, and I actually got to play at the national level, securing the silver medal when I was 16.
So my first activity was dancing. I have been learning Bharatanatyam dances, and Bharatanatyam is an ancient traditional South Indian art form, and I've been learning it for over 10 years now. Second activity is soccer. I've been part of my school team since middle school and participated in both state and inter-school tournaments. My third activity is an internship at an environmental forum called Eco Paradigm. Eco Paradigm basically aimed at advising clients on eco-friendly practices and undertook environment-related projects such as water treatment plants or implementing our rainwater harvesting system, etc. My third activity was, again, environment-related. I organized a tree plantation drive at a lake near my house that recently underwent rejuvenation. I think we planted over 200 saplings and raised over 30,000 rupees. My fifth activity was a summer program at Smith College known as Summer Science and Engineering Program, SSEP. It was a 4-week-long program, and I went for it in the summer of my junior year. My sixth activity is, again, environment related. I served as a nature guide at the same lake. I took visitors and school children on walks around the lake, explaining to them the interventions that took place and showing off the ecosystem that now thrives. My seventh activity was being a volunteer at Cycle Day. Cycle Day was aimed at promoting the usage of cycles and basically an appreciation towards cycling.
So some of my ECs included tennis. So I'm a national level tennis player, and I've been playing for about 8 years. So I did participate in inter-school tournaments as well as national tournaments. Apart from this, I was also super into the performing arts. So I directed in and acted in several theatrical productions as well as participated in classical and Western musical performances. As for my community service, I started my own charitable organization called Aram, and the aim was to promote personal health and hygiene amongst the underprivileged children of India. So I partnered up with larger companies and businesses in order to expand my initiative and make it a regional initiative. And for that, I also won a couple of awards and got recognition for it. I did talk about my social initiative in some of my supplemental essays as well.
When I look at my application, I think the extracurriculars that really shaped it include a robotics competition I did in 9th and 10th where we reached the nationals and we bagged an award there. Then basketball, which I did for 4 years. Then between the summer of 11th and 12th, I did a bunch of massive online open courses. So I had an 11-week machine learning course from Stanford. I had a 4 to 5 month specialization, a Python specialization from the University of Michigan, and a 2-month specialization in Java from Duke University.
So I've been dancing Bharatanatyam, which is an Indian classical form of dance, for 8 years now. and I've given exams that were conducted by the Karnataka Board of Education, and I've also received the intermediate level degree. I've performed many individual and group dances across Bangalore, and I've also performed in hospice trusts and destitute homes for elderly women. I'm also a state level badminton player, and I've played many tournaments and received many awards throughout middle and high school. I was also a part of this organization called the ACT, the APR Charitable Trust, and we organize marathons every year in our community, and we raised funds. And we use these funds to aid the education, empowerment, and health of underprivileged children. We also had the scholarship tutor program within this organization. So we taught high academic achieving children of the domestic help in my community science and math, and we helped them earn scholarships. I was also a part of the Teach Power Club in my school, where we taught the support staff of our school how to read and write English.
I guess the strongest suit in my application was my extracurriculars, because they were very finance centric, especially the first 5 or so ECs that I listed were very finance, economics, and leadership oriented. So I had, my first was me writing a book, the second a book about investing and kind of introduction to stock market investing to teenagers. My second was this community service project that I was in on, where I helped raise financial literacy within villages in Bangalore. The third one was me being founder and president of the school economics club. Fourth one was me being part of the student council. I was house vice captain. And the fifth one was an internship I had at a pharmaceutical company, where I again helped with the business strategy and economic side of things. So with my first 5 being very finance oriented, I made sure that the last 5 that I listed kind of showcased my all-roundedness in a way. So I put the fact that I play the piano. I've been playing the piano since I was 6, and I also put me playing basketball. I've been playing competitive basketball since 9th grade itself. Like I've represented the school since 9th grade, and I also represented the state in 11th grade. Then but I also put stuff like my podcast with a friend. I also, for fun, made a rap album with a friend. And so these kind of things just kind of helped shape my application, and were definitely my strongest suit.
Honestly, I don't know how to describe my Common App essay, because I don't think that it's the typical story-like essay that you would read. My essay was a lot more descriptive, and basically it was centered around the different contradictions in my interests, and how I'm a basketball player, but I also like writing, and how these contrasts kind of intrigue me more, and they intrigue me to be more curious about the world as a whole.
My Common App essay talks about cycling. I think by now, I cycle almost every day, and by now it's just part of my identity. Like I have withdrawals when I'm not able to cycle. I talk about how it's a stress buster and how it helps me plan, like get my mental ducks in a row. And I talk about the benefits cycling has towards the environment, and in turn I linked it towards my interests in biology and environmental science. Yeah, basically I just spoke about the therapeutic effects of cycling and the positives cycling has on the environment.
Moving on to my Common App essay, I actually did a summer internship with a neuropsychologist, where I got to interact with patients suffering from various kinds of dementia, so from Alzheimer's to vascular dementia. So my essay was about how one particular patient that I got to interact with changed my outlook and made me want to pursue psychology. So it was something that I was really interested in, and a field that I definitely wanted to go into, so I did indicate that in my essay.
Now, my Common App essay, it was about something very significant that happened in my life. Last year, my dad actually had a very serious medical condition, and him and my mom actually had to fly out to Patna to get it checked out by a different doctor. And so that left me alone with my brother to take care of him. And so it was about me overcoming my closed off personality where I wouldn't open up to others. I wouldn't help them get through what they needed to. And being with my brother when he was vulnerable and he needed somebody to step in and fill the shoes of a parent. It was about me, in a way taking off that cloak that I had concealed myself in and opening myself up. Because once I was able to sympathize and empathize with him, I was able to understand how to figure out emotions better. And that helped me not only get my brother through it, but also in general improve my friendships and relationships with other people, because that had started to deteriorate as a result of me being closed off.
And my Common App essay was about how I was the only girl in my computer science class and how I didn't do too well in the beginning, and I was scared that all my classmates were looking down upon me for being a girl. And I wrote about how I worked hard and started doing well, and how I fought for my self-esteem and made sure there were no more stereotypical generalizations.
Another one really important part of my application was my Common App essay. I wrote my Common App essay about a personal growth of mine, or personal growth and self-realization, where I grew from being someone scared of public speaking to someone who really enjoys speaking publicly. And I kind of showed that through an entire bit where I had a dialogue and conversation with myself. I had the double quotations, everything, and it was nice. It was a nice essay, and I poured a lot of emotion into it. And I feel like that's the most fundamental part of any Common App essay, just putting a lot of emotion behind it and kind of speaking true to who you are as a person.
I think the biggest piece of advice I can give incoming seniors or incoming juniors is to put all your effort and all your hard work into extracurriculars that you're really passionate about, because that passion will be shown in your essays, and you should spend a lot of time on these essays and make sure you're really proud of them so that you're putting your best foot forward.
Like, I was super addicted to watching these
I got into this college video, oh my stats, my academics to get into this college.
And during the application season, and I'd watch them and I'd be like, okay, my grades are better than hers. Oh, I think my profile is better than hers. I think I'll get into this college. Just want to say that is not true. I know people who have better grades than me and who have been rejected from colleges I've been accepted to, and vice versa. I know people who I believe I have better grades than and better extracurricular activities than, who have gotten into colleges I've been rejected from. So this college process is super wacky. No one really knows what's happening except the admissions officers. Everyone will eventually figure out what they're trying to do. Everyone will get into some college, or if not, they'll at least have some way to move forward in life, and it just always ends up working out.
A tip I would have for people writing their Common App essay would be to definitely not just write about your achievements or your honors, because they do already see that in the activity section of the Common App. So I think it's a great place to write about your personality and how you are as an individual, and that could really make your application unique. It's super important to have stable grades. Obviously upward curve is ideal. And also another tip for standardized testing would be to take both diagnostic tests, the ACT and SAT, and I definitely did not do that, so I do regret that a little bit. So I think everybody should do that, because you figure out which test you're more comfortable with, and then you can go ahead and start your prep for that one. And finally, my last piece of advice would be, when you are deciding which colleges to apply to make a clear-cut list with what, according to you, are your safeties, your targets, and then your reach schools, so that in the end you don't end up shotgunning and applying everywhere, because applications are definitely a lot of work, and I don't think it is worth applying to so many schools. So definitely it helps you keep a set number of schools to apply to, and when you do make your final decision, you should definitely go with your gut. Pick the place where you really feel like you can relate to the community environment, and a place where you will thrive.
When I look back at it, I think the two things that I would have done differently was, first of all, reaching out to my friends a lot more for my essays. I didn't have a private counselor, and while the school counselor is great, the fact that she has to juggle so many different students at once means that you won't get individual attention all the time. And so you really have to count on people who know you well, and most of the times that is your friends. One more thing is, I wish I would have decided my major earlier, because I decided pretty late, and that meant I didn't have concrete plans of what I wanted to do over the summer. And so that meant that I wasn't able to build up my college application the way I wanted to because I didn't have a clear focus until very late. And by then I was trying to build a focus, but it didn't pan out the way it would have if I had a plan from before.
I think one of the tips that I would want to give you is you should apply in the early action round because it'll help you gain confidence as you hear back fast, and it'll also give you time to decide which college you want to go to and prepare. It'll also give you confidence because like if you get into one of your high targets or teachers in the early action round, then you can apply to higher ranked universities in the regular round. So yeah, apply in the early action round.
Any sort of advice that I would have for people applying to college this year is definitely stay organized. I found keeping an Excel sheet of your long list and from that long list driving a short list was incredibly helpful because I had all the data that I needed in one place, and that data I got from the Common Data Set, which is this program that most colleges subscribe to where you can get median SAT scores, you can get mail acceptance rate, you can get you can get the overall acceptance rates and those sorts of things. And it was really, whether it's restrictive early action and other such important data that I compiled it all into one Excel sheet. And from that, I was able to go, okay, these schools are reaches, these schools are targets, and these schools are safeties. And I was able to derive a short list from those. I was only going to apply to 13 colleges, just 5 reaches, 5 targets, and 3 safeties. And I feel like that's a pretty healthy ratio to have all around because you don't want to apply to too much of any one of them. I spend a lot of time doing research. I would spend almost 2.5 hours or sometimes 3.5 hours like on my NYU application, just going through everything in the website. Make sure that you find links behind links behind links and the very nuances of the college itself. Because A, you want to make sure that it's a college that you'll enjoy going to, and B, when you write college-specific essays, you need to showcase that kind of knowledge about the college. Because they really look for someone who is passionate about the college, and they won't simply give you any acceptance just like that. Definitely when you're applying to your reaches, spend a lot of time on the websites and don't misquote something. That's genuinely the worst mistake you can make. So yeah, just stay organized and research a lot.
Well, that's it for the video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you learned something from it. Stay tuned for part 2. I have plenty of smart friends who are willing to give advice and stuff like that. So yeah, take advantage of it. I recommend it. These videos help me a lot, and I hope my channel helps you as well. I will see you guys in part 2.